expressed in this program are those of the individual speakers, commentators, guests, experts, and/or hosts. They do not explicitly or necessarily reflect nor represent the network broadcaster channel and/or program's policy or the views held by this network broadcaster channel or program. The network broadcaster channel or program cannot be held accountable for all or any views expressed during this program.
Hello, FEM Talk Nation. Welcome back to another episode of FEM Talk. We are here tonight with the beautiful Dr. Melissa Simmons and the wonderful and amazing Shima Shishi Talks. Hello. Welcome back to another FEM Talk Tuesday. So, listen. You know, we have to talk about it today. We've got the hot topic for you, but guess what we're going to talk about tonight? We're going to tell you right after this. Shima Shishi Talk, take it away. Shima Shishi.
You see
Take it away, Shima Shishi.
I was like, wait, where did I go? Today's hot topic. Okay, y'all done caught me off guard. Because I don't know what today's hot topic is.
Today's hot topic is about the Grammys. I mean, where you
Grammys? Hello. I was so excited. I was like, let me see if they know what the hot topic is. It is definitely it's definitely the Grammys. If you caught it, you saw the best. Well, not the best. Some good stuff. If you missed it, you missed some good stuff.
There you go.
We're going, huh?
I said, there you go.
Right. We got to talk about the biggest, well, the best, the GOAT, the one who got up there and gave everybody a lecture. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of mixed comments out there because there has been. The people are going bananas on social media about him. And his nod to his wife, who he did not mention by name. He just called her this young lady. And how they managed to oust her and so many others from that epitome that everybody wants, album of the year.
Right.
So, ladies, how did y'all feel about Jay-Z's whole spiel? I call him the GOAT because, my God, the man just stands up there and raps like he don't need air, he don't need press, but I'm gonna leave it right there because this is not the music show. But how did you feel about it?
Listen, first of all, I'm gonna say, I gotta like take it at different points here. But as a husband, right? I'm just gonna clap.
In a very classy way. I agree with you.
Classy way, exactly. The way he stated it, he wasn't trying to. He was ruffling feathers without trying to intimidate. He wasn't being aggressive about it. He just wanted to make mention of his wife. So I absolutely love that. And from an artist standpoint, it was something that needed to be mentioned. And like you said, he is the GOAT. So he is at a level and a point in his career and in his life where he can be the person that gets up there to state the truth, as he said, and I'm putting my quotes up because that was a part of his speech, right? He said when he gets nervous, he states the truth, but to state the truth about how he feels about how the organization is voting and running the Grammys and how they vote, right? Now, we were talking about this backstage and really understanding the voting process.
Right.
But, he said, and I'm going to quote this, right? Because our wonderful producer gave us this quote from him right here. So, we love y'all. We want y'all to get it right, he said. I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year. So, even by your own metrics, that doesn't work.
That doesn't make sense, right?
Oh, exactly. And I hope that we hear from Jay-Z along the way, because there's so many comments. I hope that he starts to comment a little bit more in depth, because that last part of the statement, so even by your own metrics, that doesn't work. I think that's loaded. I think there's more to that that he just would not get into, because we're on the awards show. So I hope that we see more from him in regards to that.
And you hope that is a lead up to let someone who you're hearing from and you're honoring help you understand what this means to those of us who are out there, who are not getting the nods, who are not getting the the honors. It could be a lead up to that. It also could be, listen, I'm going to find the most diplomatic way to tell you this is crap. How you're doing this is so jaded and so loaded. And I'm going to say it to you publicly because I've not had the fear of not being nominated.
And at this point, does he really care if he gets nominated? He's already won Album of the Year, Rap Album of the Year, right? So is he even really concerned at this point in his career whether or not he gets another Grammy, right? If you notice, and actually if you look at some of the clips from the Grammys, he was drinking from his award.
From his award. That was they showed that. But I think I was looking down because I was looking, one of my favorite songs that Beyonce and Jay-Z does, and I agree, is Ape Shit. And in Ape Shit, he talks about you need me, I don't need you. I think Jay-Z and the award was depictive of it. He made a point that I'm at the point where I don't need you, but you have recognized you need me. Because I bring them to the table. I bring the folks to the table. You know what I'm saying? You may not want to give me the awards that I should have deservedly received, but guess what? But now, and I think that was his point also. I kept showing up, and now you're going to recognize who I am. That's how I'm getting this award. Like he was unapologetic about where he's come in life. Even the museum tribute that he has in Brooklyn about his life. I mean, he is really a life story to be looked at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that I lived in Mercy, and I was a little girl, but I lived in Marcy projects too. You know what I'm saying? That was the start of where our family started at. And we moved over to, Lindsay from Marcy. But if everybody knows Brooklyn, that's like about 3 blocks difference. It's no big thing, right? But when you know that atmosphere, it is something that's where he came from.
Yeah.
In all of that, this is what he learned. Like he talks about Dumbo. He's learned so much about how you get to the next place. And I don't really care that he came, people like to always say, well, all those raps, artists and stuff, they made their money on the drugs and stuff like that. Yeah, right.
Right.
So,
And
right. And now y'all making the money that y'all send all of the guys to jail for, but y'all not making the billions on that too. So I'm not impressed. You know what I'm saying? You found a way to legalize it, to take the money from what they decided. That's how. See, back in the day, that was the only way you had to get yours. So I appreciate where he's come from. I appreciate the wisdom he gives, and I was right there in terms of just calling it out.
So what are some of your favorite highlights, both of you, when it comes to the Grammys? What you saw on the Grammys this past Sunday?
Oh gosh, one of my favorite pieces was Stevie Wonder honoring Tony Bennett. I thought the way that he had Tony Bennett singing at a real place, they both did a duet. So you heard Tony Bennett calling out, "Go ahead, Stevie." I thought it was so. It was such an honorable thing for him to do, and you saw his love for Tony Bennett in that, his honor to him. I thought that was one of the best, honor. I don't know how to call it. The best
about the ones. Something about the ones
tribute,
that came before you.
Right, that was one of the best tributes I've seen done like ever. It was just
Yeah.
beautiful. It was
Yeah.
really, really beautiful.
What about you, Sheen?
I loved seeing, well, probably because of all the aesthetics and the beautiful dresses and stuff. I love seeing Fantasia sing anyway, but then just kind of embody Tina Turner. Like originally when she first started performing, my television was on mute, so
Yeah.
I just saw the movement and I was like, whoa. I was like, wait, where's the remote? Where's the remote? I gotta see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And when she walked out, of course, I was like, oh, she's gonna take those shoes off.
Yeah. She did it though. I'm
She
surprised.
did it.
She
She
did
did
it.
it. She did
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
And then the other, like I said, the aesthetics. I mean, I watched Miley Cyrus, who is a performer no matter what, no matter where she is.
Mhm.
But I just loved her dress. I love all the fringes. I loved her confidence. I love how she made the audience help her sing her
Mhm.
song and dance with her.
Come on,
I
get
loved her
up.
energy. Yeah, I loved every
Yeah.
bit of that.
And so I'm gonna, because
Oh,
I'm a like huge Fantasia fan. Like I love me some Fantasia. Whenever I can catch her in concert, I go see her. So, but I won't reiterate that because you already talked about it and love everything that you said about her performance and her tribute to Tina Turner. But I also, there was a sentimental moment for me when Joni Mitchell came on, as we were talking backstage as well. Like Joni Mitchell, like for her to get up there, perform the way she did, to hear her story, and she sang well to me at 80 years old. She sang well. There was
Yeah.
so much heart and so much feeling in it. And
yeah.
I thought that was amazing because it was her first time being on the Grammys and her first time actually winning a Grammy. So I wanted to highlight that too, because she's a living legacy in music.
Right. And
Yeah.
Mhm.
still doing it and doing it
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's always, there's always something different about every Grammy. Like it does
Yeah.
it. I gotta be honest. I'm not gonna say I was glued to the television all the way through, but I never am.
Mhm.
There's always those points that you're like, oh, that was good, or I'm glad
Mhm.
I walked away, or I can go back and great thank God for social media and the
Mhm.
advancements in technology. We can go back and see whatever,
Yeah.
Right.
any clips that we choose. The what I wanted to say was, this was a very long hot topic because we really, really enjoyed it. However, it is because of those great people that we came up with our topic for today,
Mhm.
which is about power.
Mhm.
And does it really, or does money really buy you power,
Does
or is it
money
the other way
buy
around?
power? Right. Yeah, it was really, really supposed to
Oh,
be in the
there's a lot
Yeah.
of money on that stage.
Yeah.
Lot of money on that stage.
Yeah.
Can we honestly say that anybody up there has any real power? And what, if they do, are they doing with it?
you know,
Well, a
um,
perfect example goes back to, sorry about that. The perfect example goes back to what Jay Z just mentioned about his wife, right? About Beyonce and her, not winning album of the year. And,
Mhm.
listen, we know, she's making boatloads of money. Like her tour was proof of, the love that the fans have for her and the money that she's getting behind that. But it still can't buy her album of the year at the Grammys, right?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
so that was a perfect example. But go ahead, Dr.
Yeah.
Melissa.
when you say does money buy you power? No. I think you talk about just real quick. I'm thinking about it. He was one of the people honored last night on the Black Godfather. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't the richest guy at all, but it was clear that he was the one to go through to that would open the door for so many people in so many industries. You know what I'm saying? And he was never known to have money. He had power though,
Mhm.
and power is influence. Oh, the influence to open a door for somebody, the influence to get people into spaces that you just can't walk into, and that is not about money.
Yeah.
That and can you have money? Obviously, can money get you certain things? Yes, but power and again influence is two different things. You
Yeah.
just can't. Money is not going to open that door for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what a lot of people have tried to do over the years is, accumulate enough money and then try to buy their way in. But, I think that's just not how so many places work.
Yeah.
It is just not, that's not the story that most people can tell you on how you get in. Like, you think about the Oprahs now and, Tyler Perry, for them, it's not about money. Them is like hard work, I'm creating their own niche.
Mhm.
Nobody was in. They created their own genre of whatever and how they went about it. And it's through that and that hard work, that diligence, that's the integrity. Let's talk about that. That they created a platform that now allowed them to have the power that would garner those conversations with those others in power.
Yeah.
They earned their respect for others to listen to, so they now had the ability to open a door for somebody
Yeah.
and create
And
new things.
you know what's key to there? What you just put me in the mind of, speaking about Oprah and about Tyler Perry, just thinking about that they don't even, from what I've seen, over the years, right? They don't even think about who has the money when it comes to who they
Yeah.
are opening doors for, right? They
Right.
are helping those who they see real talent in, right? Who
Mhm.
have a story, who are gifted in something, and those they're opening the doors for those people who need a chance, right?
Right.
To
Right.
come up in whatever area they need to come up in, mostly entertainment, right? For the two of them. But I love the fact that they're not focused on the ones with the money or the
Mhm.
power, that they're saying we're going to bring up the next, right? And make sure that they're
And
seen and heard.
and they're using the tools that they were given or they were learning or
Mhm.
develop themselves to find those people. Like there's a you feel like they believe in the person's vision or
Mhm.
even understand the vision or
Mhm.
think that there is a vision, because a lot
Mhm.
of people don't follow that prescriptive
Mhm.
when it comes to, I'm endorsing you, I'm going to promote
Mhm.
you, I'm going to support you, I'm going to push you forward.
Right.
Mhm.
It is, I see where you want to go, I
Mhm.
see what you want to do in this world, and I
Mhm.
want to not only be a part of it, I want to help you get there.
Mhm.
Mhm.
um so there's a different kind of power,
Mhm.
I guess. And I know we're talking about what money doesn't buy, and
Mhm.
well, how money doesn't buy that power. But when we talked about the Grammys, we got to be honest, there was a lot of power on that stage. But how is it wielded? What are they using it for? You just
What
spoke
what are you
about that.
what are you doing with it?
And what are you doing with it?
Mhm.
And the crazy part, when we talk about Jay-Z, who does have a whole lot of money, and
Ooh,
his
right.
wife as well, the power he used last night, or night before, was
Sunday.
not that you can't put a denomination on it.
Yeah, it wasn't about this. It,
Yeah.
No,
it, it wasn't about the
it
money.
was actual knowledge.
Yeah.
It was actual guidance and advice that comes from a person who's been there and done that.
Mhm.
So I can speak on it clearly,
Mhm.
not because I've been taught, not because somebody gave it to me, not because I bought the prescription for it,
Mhm.
because I lived it.
But
Mhm.
it's having the courage to say
To
what needs to
say
be
it
said.
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
To do that, and again, and to your point, and those with power recognize, and they always honor the people that open the door for them.
Right.
He was clear to say Snoop. He was clear to say,
Right.
he called the people out that opened
Mhm.
those doors for him.
Mhm.
Think about
Exactly.
and the other piece about the power. Okay,
Mhm.
power comes after a certain level of 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 doing your due,
Mhm.
paying your dues. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Doing
Work.
everything it took for you to get there, and now that
Mhm.
respect has been, people see that and now respect it. But another thing that people with power also do is they take care of their own.
Mhm.
You look at Tyler Perry. Almost every movie he does, Tamala Man is in that movie.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Tamala and Dave Man is in those movies. You look at
Mhm.
Adam Sandler. The same people are in his movies.
Absolutely.
They have taken care of certain people that you, and they created a family of people. Say, I got you. I got you. I seen you. You don't have to do nothing more. I got you. You don't have to worry about that.
Absolutely.
You know, I remember when Tyler Perry put Cicely Tyson and started putting her in all of his things, or in a few of them. He said, no, that's the God, that's the grandmother of soul. We we gotta take care of Cicely Tyson. She don't open doors, but so he made sure he started putting her. It's things like that that the people that have influence, they also recognize.
Yeah. But now, you know, I got to go to the other side of that.
Right.
I got to go to the other side of the coin and appreciate that, because that's what power should be. Right. But you have to think about, okay, what about those who are in power who abuse the power? Because there's so many examples of that in society too, who abuse the power that they have. And, you know, sometimes they have the money to go with it. Sometimes they don't. But people who are put in spaces of power because maybe they're second generation power,
Exactly.
right? Or maybe they've built something that has gained them the end, right, with the gatekeepers, and now they're in a position of power, but they abuse it. So I think I want to mention the other side of that too, because what you were saying, Dr. Melissa, is where it should be, the right thing to do, and the people who are bringing others up and, you know, using their influence for good. But there's also people that take and abuse power. You know, we have, you know, the Jerry Epsteins of the world, right? And I can't think of Jesus, I should have looked this up before we got on here, but cancel culture, right? Right. Weinstein. Yes, right. Weinstein. Sorry. Thank you. And, you know, there's so many others. Who was the person that got locked up for? It was basically like a pyramid type scheme, but with investing, right? All these people who abuse the power that they have. Bill Cosby, for example, right? Abusing the power with women. Thank you. We just have an amazing producer. I can say that. Because when this 50-year-old brain is like, wait.
My producer knows that this is a screen full of 50.
Full of 50 women.
50-year-old anything can happen.
Right. But
this is FEM Talk.
Yeah. Remind me of my name one night, because I'm going to forget that too.
No, I'm not claiming that one.
Right. Girl, please. It's not even claimed. Just things happen. But anyway, but to that point,
Madoff. Thank you. I'm sorry. I had to cut you off because you mentioned Bernie Madoff. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many abuses of power, and we can go down the line. I think about the doctors that worked with the gymnasts, the US, you know, all the gymnasts over the years, just the abuse, you know, the Carolis who abuse that system with those young girls, what they live. There's so many, unfortunately, there's so many examples of abuse. I live over the last years watching bad people with power in bad positions. You know, unfortunately, certain situations create people that are power hungry, and they get these opportunities that they would not get in other circumstances, and now they take it to another extreme. So I see it all too often, and unfortunately I live it. But I will.
It's crazy, not to cut you off, just so to interject, and I'll let you have it back. You both are talking about wide ranges of examples and varying levels of power.
Different industries.
It doesn't, different industries, whether it's money based, whether it's, like you said, prestige. The crazy part is you don't have to hit a certain level to start this good or bad behavior of abuse of power.
Like I tell people, money is not the issue. People are more interested in power than they are money. I'm convinced of it. Money may come from power, and people may seek money, but people want power more than everything. And they don't. And I've seen people. Okay, so you take you know, the industry I'm in. These board members that run for board, they don't get money for it. They don't get paid for it.
So where does that power come from?
Right. And some of them, they do have an altruistic kind of, I want to give back, but
vital and access.
But some, I can tell you the truth, I've seen a lot of foolish things happen, and it is about power. who am I? People have come to me and said, I am a board member. And I want to look at it and say, and what does that mean? But they mean that. They mean it, and they believe that title, that thing has now given them a level of whatever that they didn't. That now I have it, and now have to kind of kiss the ring, as I call it, to get them to work with you or do something.
Exactly.
It's not about money. I know it's not about money. Too many
It's
people.
not always. No.
Yeah.
No.
And okay, so then I'm going to go on the flip side of that one too, because I love to do this. But there are some people who have purchased their way, right, to certain positions to get the power, right, to get the power. So we'll talk about that.
After the break.
Yeah, wow. So we can take a commercial break now. But don't go anywhere, everybody. That's right. Go ahead. And we are back. Take it away, Shimashi.
We are back. So we're going to go right back to what you said, the flip side of what we say or what gives these people power. Because if you have not been listening to us tonight, FEM Talkers, we are talking about, does money actually give you power? Or can you buy power with money? And then we also talked about different areas of power, different levels of power. And then just before the break, Tracy led off with a question about the flip side of having this little or small or large amount of power and purchasing it or being able to purchase it or having purchased it with actual money and what they're doing with that. So can we get some examples? Who were you thinking about when you said that, when you brought that question up, Tracy?
I didn't have a person in mind. I was thinking not anybody public. I was thinking more, in the corporate spaces, right? Where
I have somebody.
But but in the comments and in the chat here, you see nepotism, and that's exactly what it is, and we need to cover that too. But I'll go ahead and let Dr. Melissa give her person.
Her person. She was excited about the person.
Well, I'm not excited. I think Mr. 45 purchased his way into the presidency. I don't care if saying it. Okay, we did it.
Hey, we put the disclaimer up, guys. You already know.
That was well known. He was always known to be a Democrat, and when they would not back him, he went to the other side and he says, "Well, what can I get? What can I get you?" It is well documented.
That is a blatant, exactly.
It was well documented what happened there, and he purchased his way into the White House. Now, and the promise was, if you back me, I'll get you this. And unfortunately, some of those things he promised, it did come to pass.
Yes,
and that's where Roe versus Wade came in. All of that stuff was well planned out, and that's what he purchased. So
well, that's a perfect example of nepotism too, right? Because his father, his father was in a position of power and started him off, right? With gave him the money to have the ability to start, his own business, and it just took off from there. But then, you see cases too where they had influence in different groups, and I won't mention groups, but they had influence in different groups, right? To help, kind of raise that power spectrum for them when it came to their influence. Yeah.
And you know, and the thing about, I will say this: when you purchase your power, okay, the problem with purchasing your power is that you have to have enough money to maintain it. Right. So when you purchase it, you need to be careful that don't run out, or when you purchase it, not with actual money, but like you said, in nepotism or in favor, or in. I've seen people again purchase favors. You know, you vote for me, you get me in this seat, and I'll get you this. I've seen it. I've seen it. I witnessed it. I've lived it. The problem is the moment you that payment is done, watch out.
I was. It puts you in the mind of a cycle of blackmail. Even though you haven't been bamboozled, or you haven't been, or lied to, or deceived, you've agreed to a form of blackmail, because I'm gonna pay you because I want this thing. And I'm thinking, in most naive cases, I'm thinking that once I pay you, oh my God, I got exactly what I was going for. I'm going to provide what I said I would, and I'm going to get this thing. And then there's someone else to pay. And then there's another debt to pay. And then you owe another person. And our producer talked about nepotism. And the first thing, of course, comes to mind is all of these parents, star parents, famous parents, who thought that they were going to buy their children's access to colleges. I'm being specific.
Ooh, that's a good one to bring up.
Thinking you're going to get power.
Ring the bell, ring the bell.
Yes. They want to come and they want to buy these children. And at that point, you're buying into, you're thinking, their future, and getting them the access and the power and all of this great stuff. And even in the best case scenario, maybe whatever you paid, or you're going to pay for however length of time that you agree, that's it. But here comes your child in the world where this is a shadow of blackmail, a legal form of blackmail. So now you don't think that child is going to have to pave some ways, open some doors, pad some doors with a little money? It's an on the sad part of it.
What are you teaching?
What are you teaching them?
Yeah.
Teaching them that this is what you should do. And then you're setting them up, because if they are not in agreement with your process for gaining power, you think the people that help them aren't going to be looking at them, give,
but so many of those children,
and you pay.
But those kids, a lot of those kids tried to disown their parents for that, because they know they're going to live with that shadow over their head that you couldn't earn it. So you had to buy it. And when you live with that kind of a shadow, everybody talks about, KK, and KK done said, let me sleep with somebody and get a videotape. She can't live that one down. You know what I'm saying? Can't live it down.
With all the money that you have gained.
She can't live that one down. You pay a price when you buy your way in.
Yes, but look at that. That's a perfect example too of not even money buying the power, right? They took the power of the public, right? And the power of, the spread of, right, to make her famous. They took that to a whole different level. Right?
And they can't escape
unapologetically.
They can't, but they can't even escape from it. Their lives are.
But do they want to?
Well, some of them do. No. Some of them do, and some of them have tried their best to keep their life. If some of them love it, and others don't. So when you look at the whole family in totality, some of them run from it. Some of them. There's one. The brother. You don't even see him. He's truly a recluse because he cannot handle it. So there's a price you pay when you have purchased these lives.
Yeah.
And for whatever it's worth, now they have all these children growing up in it. What does that leave you? You saw the whole Michael Jackson era and what he had to live through, and now look at it, and then now his children live in that life. They're outcome. Look at Whitney Houston's daughter, how she lived it out, and then at the same time, it took her life just as quick. I think and I think that's what we don't consider. The price sometimes is too high
Exactly.
to buy these things for what? For what reason?
Yeah.
And I think that's the consideration people just don't get.
Yeah.
That you pay this price, you purchase what you think you're getting, and the price you pay, you don't know what it's going to cost you. You don't know what.
Yeah.
And some you have those. We've given several examples of those who don't care. Okay, well, whatever the price is, we can pay it, because that is that arrogant, full of yourself attitude that says it doesn't matter. Whatever the consequence, I'll pay it. Whatever the outcome or the result, I'll deal with it. And then I hate to say this because the price of power is what my producer put in the comments. And the first thing that popped in my mind is the cost. What does it cost you? What are you paying? A lot of those children who did not agree to that, to get power and money and prestige in that way, they're no longer here.
So many of them.
That's a lot to carry. That's a lot to carry from your parents. And like you said, if I'm not gonna emancipate, if I'm not gonna separate myself from my parents, I'm gonna try to live a normal life, and it may be overwhelming. And then what? Because I feel like there's no outlet for me.
Right.
I can't make a niche for myself in my own life, in my own wants. I think that's one of the bigger costs or price of power and money. Hey, let's be honest. It can be both. What do you ladies think about that? I didn't mean to bring everybody down.
No,
but
I think these are the things that people don't consider.
Yeah.
I think these are the things that and again, and everybody, in your own way, if you think about it, in your own lives, there are opportunities that many of us have had that we can, well, maybe if I get to know this person and go this route, maybe this will happen. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes,
absolutely,
as things now uncover themselves, I love that comment. And when things get exposed, now what?
Yeah.
Now what should I just do to make this happen?
Yeah.
What just happened to just like make, what did I do to open this door? And I remember those moments. And I don't know about it, y'all, but I've had those moments where people kind of dangle the carrot in front of me. I remember them specifically. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to do that. And I remember people saying, go ahead and take it. And I said, I don't think so, because number one, I didn't know what it was going to open up. I said, do I need that bad? Do I need to go down that road that bad? And I guess and as a believer, I just always said, you know what, if God can't open the door, I'm not walking
right.
This man, and I remember, one of the people was a man. He can't own me.
Right.
Not own me. I said, my parents have worked way too hard for this man who I don't know to own me. You know what I'm saying? And I remember when, he dangled the carrot and I walked away. The opportunity that he offered me, I didn't get for another 10 years. Oh God, did I just freeze up?
We can hear you still.
Yeah, we can still hear you.
And I remember the opportunity when it opened up. It was 10 years later that I earned myself. And I remember when he came back and, called on me, hey, you remember me? And I remember in that moment, I said, he called for a favor, but I didn't owe him anything.
Right.
So I didn't have to give him anything.
That's right. And that's what people have to think about too, the repercussions that go with it, right? And the ripple effect that happens, as a result of, letting the shiny things get dangled in your face and then taking the bait behind it. And I love what Shara said about, some children don't even have any idea, but think about the legacy that you're leaving when you try to buy power with money and then allow the repercussions to come down on someone else besides yourself, because sometimes it doesn't just affect you, it affects others in your life. So I love that she put that comment out there.
Part of acquiring that type of power is the knowledge that I did not compromise my integrity or my self-esteem or my body, my religion, whatever, my spirituality, whatever. I didn't have to make a compromise that I later have to live with and pay back a debt. I gotta live with the decision and I gotta pay the debt back.
And I gotta
wait a minute, I don't want both.
And embarrass myself and my children for that matter. And I love you, Shara. That's my girl out there. But in all honesty, those are some of the people I admire and look towards, because this is just hard work, and they see those accomplishments. It is doable without having to sell everything. It is doable without having to have the right contact. When God says, I will open doors that no man can shut, he will open doors that no man can shut. And we believe it for ourselves and for our children. We've all lived it. I've watched it happen. I think those are the kind of the beliefs that we do need to, instill in our children, and let them know that we don't have to make those compromises. I don't have to encourage you to go, you lay down in the bed and videotape it so you could be a billionaire.
That's right.
You don't have to do that. There's other ways to be happy, and and I think those are the kind of things that we need to just kind of think about and pursue, and really consider.
And I wanted just to add something too, because I wanted to go back to what was mentioned too in terms of like cancel culture, right? Because you just put me in a mindset of something, because my minister was talking about how people talk about canceling people when you look at social media, and the cancel culture is out there, but you just talked about like, no, God is the only one that can cancel you. Man doesn't have the power to cancel anybody. Exactly. So it's just what Jay-Z said in his speech. Keep going until you get to where you need to be. You don't have to compromise yourself. You don't need to be bought, because no man can cancel you. And no man can cancel what God has for you. So just keep going, keep at it. And you heard Dr. Melissa say 10 years later, she earned her way without compromising who she is. She earned her way into the position that person was trying to dangle the shiny things. We're going to call it money, currency, whatever that was, trying to dangle that in her face. So just keep going, because nobody has the right to cancel you. And when you think about this, I want to know what you guys think about cancel culture right now, because it's so prevalent now, where people are withdrawing from, certain things in culture, right? Or organizations, businesses, people, right? They're canceling people out for something that they've done or something that they don't agree with. And it goes with us saying like money can't buy you power, and having like all these people have these issues. Will Smith, we named a whole lot of them, right? People that have these issues that need to now come back, and they've been canceled.
That's right.
It's canceling them right now. So what do you guys think about that?
It's too fleeting for me. It's such a fleeting way to weed out what you do and don't like. And in some cases, it's permanent in a way that is detrimental to the person who cancels and the person who's being canceled. And is it really, if you're not taking that second thought to think, I'm going to use my power, my 150,000, 400,000 followers to no longer follow this person or support or promote them. What have you done that probably was a knee-jerk reaction that said, I no longer want you in this available to the immediate public?
And I love that you said that. I love Nick's comment, because he says cancel culture is opinionated. Because really, when you think about it, cancel culture doesn't have the whole story. So we're canceling people out without the whole story. We don't know what the whole story is, but we take a side, right? Based on our own opinions, feelings, emotions, right? We take a side, and then we cancel somebody out that could potentially affect the rest of their lives. But that's the day and age that we live in now.
And is that not a wielding of the power that I have as a person who has 300,000 followers?
Exactly. And I think this is old school blackballing people, right? Right? You was blackballed, and again, felt that myself. Like, when people think they have power over you, they'll now tell other people, don't do this, don't do that. And I remember that feeling. I remember that feeling when, I left, and I said, oh, I could get another job. They can't just blackball me like this. And then a year later, I'm still waiting for somebody to give me a call. I'm going on interviews and nobody's, responding. And I'm like, what is going on? What have I done to do this? But once again, people will love to cancel you out. Yes. And this is when you have to have your own faith.
Yeah.
You have to know that if you put your trust in man, then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
They're gonna have, once again, that power, that authority over you. And the second you don't dance the way they want you to dance, the second you don't flip it the way they want you to flip it. Now they don't have no time for you.
Yeah.
So, and now you're back to where you started, or even like you said, in a worse position.
That's
but
right.
When you rely on God, I remember when God said, "Oh, I will make your name great."
Right.
And I thought I was like, Lord, you would have to make my name great, because he told
right now they
thought it was over. And we have an example in the comments. We have an example of Monique, right? And she's been canceled, right? Yeah. And now she is actually about to go on to, or maybe she did already and I just missed it, but she's going to be on Shannon Sharp's show. So I'm interested in, and we're going to have to talk about that. Because I know, and I did see her. So we need to look for that, because we're going to talk about that as well.
I'm just saying, I'm an avid follower of the show. I will let y'all know.
And I love that, he takes that stance, right? And that he's bringing her on there. Yes. So she's been canceled by, the public, but he's saying, no, I'm going to give her a chance to have her voice be heard. Because I remember seeing a clip from her being on the Steve Harvey show. And she mentioned, how nobody came to bat for her, he tried to justify, the fact that he pushed it aside, basically. And we're talking about money doesn't buy you power. He talked about everybody else needing, and I'm going to put it that way. This is my words, though, needing to get to the bag. That's how it was stated. And she said, but nobody came to my defense.
That's right.
So I'm interested in hearing the real story that I think, Shannon Sharp is going to let play out on his show.
I just want to give him a quick shout out for that right there, because that is his level of power, and he chooses not to shy away from the hard guests or the ones who are going to bring the house down or bring all of the tea and give it to you and let you make your decision.
Yeah.
I mean, is that not another way for your use of power to be used for good?
But that's part of it. But that, you go back to Cat Williams. That's what he was saying. That's what they're saying, is that when you have this opportunity and you realize, and this is the point, when you realize you have power, that whatever has happened in your life, you realize you now have that power, which is, i.e., influence.
That's right.
And you have the ability to open doors. Do the right thing. Do the right thing. And that is what, when I realized in my little world that I had influence now, I do the right thing with it. I don't hold it over somebody's head. I open doors. I help people open doors. I do, those are the things you're supposed to do with it.
Absolutely.
Because that is how you pay it forward. That is how your hard work now speaks well of you. And you appreciate those that have opened the doors. But when you hear that, I can't wait to hear Monique, because you think about all those people that were there at one point that you don't see no more.
Right.
Like that somebody, like you said, cancel the door, cancel them out.
Yeah.
Where did they go? I always say that, but where did this one go? Where did that one go?
And then along with that, where did everybody that was living off of that person that now has been canceled because they're in conjunction with that person that we no longer love? Listen, FEM Talkers, we are coming close to the end of our show. We had a great conversation about whether money gives you power, or can you buy it with money? Can you buy it with money? Can you buy power with money? What we do want to say is thank you for all your comments and all your viewership. We want to say that we are going to be talking about another version of money and power on the third Tuesday of this month, February 20th. So please, if there's more conversation, is there more comments, hit us up and share that. And outside of that, we know what, we didn't talk about this earlier, but you guys know what month this is. It's February. It is Black History Month. It's also Valentine's Day month and the month of love. So we are full of a lot of shows that are going to talk about love, some funniness and some craziness, definitely some Black history. And we are asking you guys to participate by sending us some Black history participants, I'll say, or some people in Black history that we should highlight. Not the standard ones. I'm going to say it like we said it in behind the scenes earlier. Not the Carver, the George Carver. I love him. I love a good peanut. But somebody new. And I love Madam C.J. Walker. You know, ain't nothing wrong with a little pressing curl. But if you know someone who is creating Black history, who is drawing us in, who is teaching or providing something for our children to look forward to, just as we did when we were younger. I was happy about George Carver as a kid, but we need some new ones. Please comment on this video, on our YouTube channel, on our Facebook page. Send us an email. If you see us on the street, we'll talk about it. Give me a name.
On the street, on IG, on IG.
I want to piggyback off of that too, to say, give us some stories about your leaders in your communities and in your businesses. Like, give us some stories about people that are, you know, pioneering, right, for
there you go,
for other African Americans out here, because we want to hear those stories.
Want to honor them. We want to honor them.
True. You know, modern day influencers, Black historians. You know, comes to mind. You know, I have one already in mind where they're just breaking barriers. I know I'm not. They're just breaking barriers. I'm gonna share that person. Once you said that, she was, I have my person. But I know we talk about Black history people, but I have to do a shout out tonight. He is my own Black historian, my own hero,
our own commissioner,
the commissioner for FEM TALK Nation Football. Happy birthday, Lamont! Lamont!
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! I love you, Boo Boo, and we are gonna have some nice birthday fun.
Don't tell us about that part.
Wait,
and that is a segue into next week's show. So you guys know that next Wednesday is Valentine's Day. And because Melissa talked about celebrating with her husband, we are talking about the awkward sounds of intimacy next week. So you do not want to miss this show.
If you have some contributions to the conversations, we look forward to them.
That's right.
It's gonna be a crazy love-filled show.
Maybe I'll come with some new ones by that next show.
That's right.
We love a good story. We love a good laugh on this show. We love you guys for watching. We love you guys for participating, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a good night, FEM Talkers. I just cursed myself out.